Assalamu alaikum class. I hope you all are fine. My name is Muhammad Umair. Today the topic of our discussion is perception and individual decision making. In last lecture I already told about what is perception. Today the topic of our discussion is decision making. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this slide, I want to tell you about the common shortcuts in judging others. Selective perception. What is selective perception? People selectively interpret what they see on the basis of one's interest, background, experience, and attitudes. In common shortcuts judging others, I have another term in the shape of halo effect. Now, what is halo effect and what is selective perception? Basically, selective perception, the tendency to choose to interpret what one sees based on one's interest, background, experience, and attitude. So keep it in your mind, students, any characteristics that makes a person, an object, or an event stand out will increase the probability we will perceive it. Why it is possible? Why it is important to do so? Because it is impossible for us to assimilate everything we see. Okay. I again repeat the previous line. Any characteristic that makes a person, an object, or an event stand out will increase the probability we will perceive it. Why? It is quite not possible, because it is impossible for us to assimilate everything we see. We can take is only certain stimulously. Due to this, you are more likely to notice, but cars like your own and your boss. Sometimes some people and not others doing the same thing. Because we cannot observe everything going on around us. Keep it in your mind. It is not possible to do that. We cannot observe everything going on around us. We use selective perception, but we do not choose randomly. You must keep it in your mind. We make selections based and that's it about selective perception. Now, what is halo effect? I must put some words in the shape of selective perception. We make selection based. What selection based? On our interest, background, experience, attitude, seeing what we want to see. We sometimes draw unwarranted conclusions. And that's all about the selective perception. In this slide, I already mentioned that. I again repeat for your clarification. Okay, people selectively interpret what they see on the basis of one's interest, background, experience, attitudes. These all are the common shortcuts in judging others. Okay? In the shape of halo effect, drawing a general impression about an individual on the basis of a single characteristics. The tendency to draw a positive general impressions about an individual based on a single characteristics. It means when we draw a positive impression about an individual based on a single characteristics such as intelligence, such as social ability, or sometimes you also include the term appearance in the shape of halo effect. So, halo effect drawing a general impression about an individual on the basis of single characteristics, on the basis of, keep it in your mind, on the basis of single characteristics. This is called a halo effect. And the next one is contrast effect. Now, what is contrast effect? Contrast effect evaluation of a person's characteristics. Evaluate करता है किस चीज़ को? Person's की characteristics को. That is affected by comparisons with other people recently encountered who rank higher or lower on the same characteristics. Basically, evaluation of a person's characteristics that is affected by comparison with other people. I again repeat this line कि evaluate करता है persons की characteristics को जो कि affect करती हैं किसे? Comparisons को with other people recently जो encountered होते हैं who rank higher or lower on the same characteristics. This is called contrast effect. And what is stereotyping? This is very easy. Judging someone based on one's perception of the group to which the person belongs. This is called stereotyping. When we judge someone based on our perception of group to which he or she belongs, we are stereotyping. People are not ready to accept. Sometimes people are not ready to accept. For what? Here I quote an example for your more clarification. Is sometimes people are not ready to accept male nurses. When I tell them, they think I work as a ward boy in the hospital. Male doctors are accepted, but not male nurses. Who said that? Said Darshan Nandakar, who wanted to learn nursing since his teenage. Okay, this is a stereotyping. And what is projection? Projections attributes one's own characteristics to other people, and that's it. I think this is sufficient for you students. How to judge others. This is sufficient data, this is sufficient reading for you people. If you go through it, you easily cover your chapter. And what is common? Biases and error. Overconfidence, anchoring, confirmation, availability, representative. These all are the common biases and errors. Okay. Winners, escalations, insights, randomness. These are the basic biases errors. And what is decision making? An influence of decision making. The basis of individual behavior. In this slide, the influence of decision making shows that individual difference and organization's constraints. Present individual difference and organization constraints. On individual basis, what is the individual differences? Individual differences may be based on your personality. Individual differences may be based on your gender. Individual differences may be based on your mental ability. Individual differences may be based on your culture differences. Because personality is different from one person to another. Then personality is different. One person having itself own personality, second person having itself own personality, third person having itself own personality. Some are male, some are female. Some mental ability is very strong, some mental ability are averages, some are very weak. And also culture differences play a very vital role. So come in next slide. Organizational constraints. What are those? Performance evaluation, reward system, formal regulations, system imposed time constraint, historical based precedence. These all are the organization constraints. These are very simple. I hope up till now you have no problem. If you have any problem, kindly ask me again and again. I am here to clarify your questions, to sort out your problems. What are ethics in decision making? Ethics in decision making. Basically, three ethical decision criteria. Decisions are made to provide greatest good for the greatest number. In other one, respecting and protecting basic rights of individuals, such as whistleblowers. Next one is justice, imposing and enforcing rules fairly and impartially. Basically, in rational decision making, first of all, I tell about what is rational. Characteristics by making consistent value maximum choices within specified constraints. Having a power to take decision, this is also called a rational. Okay, you have a characteristics to take decision making, to take decision in the shape of rational behave, in the shape of rationalism. It means you have a power to take decision. What is rational decision making? A decision making that describe how individuals should behave to maximize some outcome. Okay, in the shape of rights, in the shape of justice, respecting, protect basic right of individual, impose and enforce rules fairly. These all are the ethics in decision making. So please come in next slide. Ways to improve decision. Ways to improve decision. How you students improve your decisions? Number one, analyze the situation and adjust your decision making style to fit the situation. Be aware of biases and try to limit their impact. Combine rational analysis with intuition to increase decision making effectiveness. Do not assume that your specific decision style is appropriate to every situation. These all are the major factors, these all are the major points, these all are the major phrases. How to improve your decisions? You must analyze the situation and adjust your decision making style to fit the situation, and that's it. Be aware of biases and try to limit their impact. Combine rational analysis. Do not assume that your specific decision style is appropriate to every situation. Don't try to assume it. If you try to assume it, it means you can't take a good decision. You can't take a right decision at right time. So please don't assume that your specific decision style is appropriate to every situation. You must keep it in your mind. And in last, enhance personal creativity by looking for novel problems, and that's it. If you students still having a problem, any query, any issue, kindly contact with me. Ask me number of time. I again and again tell you, ask me number of time. I am here to answer your questions. So thank you very much. That's the end of your chapter.